Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Well, the masters of goal setting have taught me about leadership. Unfortunately, a lot of the techniques for goal setting are turned towards sales, but the motivational techniques that they use can be applied to many other things besides closing the deal. And what I've learned about leadership and being a teacher is how do I focus on and supervise myself in developing effective habits and skills in my field. I work with people who I praise frequently and sincerely, and instead of just pointing out mistakes or being too busy to listen to anybody, I try to find something encouraging to say. And always have time for a chat. I dodge snide remarks and catty comments of the dream stealers. I seek alliances with people who have different talents and strengths than I do. I seek feedback and give feedback from people who are interested in me succeeding and I'm interested in them succeeding. And I'm always reminded that my own expectations and opinions of myself take precedence over everything else. So think well of yourself. Now, raising the Kundalini is an ongoing concept in the yogic tradition, in the tantric tradition, that we all have a dormant potential energy locked at the base of the spine, symbolized by a snake coiled 3.5 times around the base of your spine. But we know that this is metaphoric. How do you know? Because we've dissected people and there aren't snakes at the bottom of your spine. So we know they're talking kind of poetic understanding of cerebrospinal centers at the tailbone and the pelvis and the stomach and the heart and the throat and the brow, and a kind of transcending insight that happens at the electromagnetic edge of where your body ends and space begins. Your first chakra, called a Muladhara chakra, is all about survival, hanging on, hopefully not like grim avidity with no joy in life, just barely doing whatever you got to do to make it through another day. But then the pelvis has the pleasure center, her favorite resort. You're pouring out your act of creativity in a continuous way. It's going on all the time. You have the third chakra, Manipura, the city of the shining jewel, which is all about your power, stepping into your ability to control yourself or manipulate the world. And those first three, as Joseph Campbell taught me, I like to refer to as the malodorous, lecherous, and carnivorous self. But when you rise above that, you come into the heart chakra, anahata, the sound not made by two things hitting together. And here's where you start to recognize other people exist, and your own self-centeredness starts to fall away, especially if you fall in love with someone, and then you just want to be there for them. Then you get to the fifth chakra, which is the questing center, Vishuddha, which means purified. Now you start to turn within, and the things of the world lose a lot of the lure, even though you're going to come back with a new consciousness and reinvest the way you work in the world as a result of what you've gotten from your questing. But once you seek the truth, all of a sudden form drops away, and now you come into the sixth chakra, Ajna center, the command center, where your life is much more intuitive. The choices that you make come from a deep well of self-understanding. There's a kind of validity that happens that doesn't have to be corroborated by your sense mind or your thinking mind or other people. And therefore your choices, you could say, are in tune with your deeper self, your essence self. And all of that leads you to having the courage and the guts to let go of yourself and any sense of separateness between you and everything else, until there's a kind of merging with your own sense of life. And you're not fearing life, you're not fearing death, but you're fully involved in it, saying yes in the heart of darkness, joyfully participating in the sorrows of the world, and willing to accept whatever comes down the pike as the spiritual teaching that you need at that time. So, I hope you raise your Kundalini.